studios of Adaba FM. Good afternoon and welcome to yet another edition of the RoundTable. My name is Temidayo, and just as last Tuesday, today again, I have with me on the program the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Mr. Eyitayo Jegede, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. You're welcome on the program, sir.
Thank you. I'm pleased to be here once again. Thank you very much.
Let's start from what went down today at the House of Assembly. It's a serious one. I don't know if you were monitoring events, because the suspension of some of the members and then the court ruled, and then today thugs took over the House of Assembly and police had to be brought in. So I want to air your own your own opinion about what has been happening at the House of Assembly for a while now.
Well, you will recall that before now, the membership of the House of Assembly was not the way it is now. When the Akere government came into power, you will recall that PDP was dominating the House of Assembly.
PDP had more members.
They had more members, and interestingly, they came with this anti-people policy of poaching. When I say poaching, I mean taking members of the PDP away from their platform and bringing...
Almost every governor does that.
Yes, but then there must be standards. Like I said before, it's like you give example. You say you take the wrong side of a traffic when you're in Lagos, and then you don't justify that by saying everybody takes the wrong side of the traffic. We must build this country. We must build democracy. We must ensure that we go by the rules. We must ensure that we do things decently. And violence begets violence. When you see a government and a political party that is rooted in violence, that have no respect for human life, that will go outside and start picking caps of opposition and start beating people, and you have where the leadership of that same political party will stunter and move around arrogantly, preaching violence and saying that they've not seen anything yet, then you understand the kind of culture and values that these people have. What is happening in the House of Assembly is just a clear demonstration of lawlessness. And it's within their party. It's a family affair for them. When you have a family that every time you wake up in the morning, you bring out knives, you bring out cudgels, you bring out mortars, you start breaking head, they transfer this into the entire polity of the state. For God's sake, this state had been relatively peaceful, but you understand that it is the leadership of APC that is now importing violence into Ondo State, and they're starting from the House of Assembly.
When you say that, what have you seen? Because I read a statement from the Akere campaign, also calling on you to call your supporters to order. In fact, they mentioned that your supporters go around town attacking them when they see anybody wearing the branded T-shirt of the APC, and of course their cap as well. In fact, they mentioned the incident that happened at Ondo too, and they said your supporters have been attacking their members.
Do they have caps? Do they have vests?
I've seen the Akere caps.
Well,
I've seen the APC caps.
Just go check. I'm sure what you will see are maybe a few caps or something. But look, ours is like a light. When you see a cap green in color with yellow in print, reading Eyitayo, that means it brings joy. And that's the meaning. The meaning of our name is Eyitayo. We are bringing joy and happiness to the people. Those who love our cap love it properly, and those who don't like it, they don't like it because it demonstrates the new thinking that we have in it. But I can answer your question straight away. Why not? Look, go check. They said so. But if you send your pressmen out and then you check, you find out that we've been relatively peaceful. In fact, we refuse to be provoked.
So you're saying the incident they mentioned was not true?
It's not true. It's not true. Look, even you see, did you see any footage where any PDP member says, "Look, go and attack them, go and remove their posters, or they will bring fair drama"? It is they are the ones, and what they're doing is that once you go and strike the opposition, you quickly rush back and say opposition has struck you. It is not true. It is not true, and our people know. Just go to town, you find out that relatively we've maintained a lot of depth.
So you're just trying to gaslight your camping and the PDP, that they are in fact in the wrong.
Outright lie they're selling. outright lie. They said, and they'll still sell more. They'll still sell more. Just wait and watch them. Look, they have nothing to offer. Absolutely nothing to offer. We're talking about programs, about what we want to do for Ondo State people. They're talking about violence, talking about federal might. Is that what you should be saying in 21st century?
Have you heard any of them talk about federal? Because the incident I remember, the former chairman of the party and has come to say that he didn't mean that.
Oh, he didn't mean that. He didn't say so. He said so. It's not what he meant that is important. It's the message he's communicating. You are a communicator. It is the person that hears you. What did he hear? And when he said this, he said so openly, mentioning AK-47. For God's sake. For God's sake. In a decent society, a society that is looking forward to development, you're talking about tearing posters. You're saying they have not seen anything yet. You're talking about, what did he say? About federal might. And you say he didn't mean that. No. What were you saying? He did not say that. He said it. And when you said you communicate to people, and we're not taking chances, we're just praying to God.
Well, what we're saying, are you bothered that the October 10 election, there could be violence or thuggery, and that could affect the credibility, the sanctity of the process?
Well, that is their plan, and they've demonstrated it. But it's not going to happen that way, because the people of Ondo State will vote overwhelmingly for the PDP and across the entire state. And as far as I'm concerned, our people are resolute and they're ready. PDP as a political party is ready. And all we try to do is to maintain decorum and sell our programs, believing that this will see us through. That's all.
Now, the police said they will be deploying 30,000 policemen for this election, with at least 4 policemen per polling unit. But this is not the first time that this number of policemen will be deployed for election in Nigeria. And even with that, we still have vote buying, we still have violence, we still have ballot snatching. How best do you think the sanctity of the process can be protected this election coming on October 10th?
It needs the good intention of all the participants. APC, PDP, Labour Party, or is it the some? Okay,
ZNP.
Okay, thank you. Then Labour Party, and then all political parties. We're all stakeholders in this business. The first thing to do is self-discipline. And unfortunately, I must say this with a lot of regrets, that the APC had not demonstrated any iota of discipline in respect of its engagement of the people. We will continue to work on the part of PDP peacefully, believing that we have the people, and then also implore the police and all security to maintain order on the day of the election. I believe that by and large, people will come out on the 10th of October. These are the elections that all of us are waiting for. These are the elections that's going to shape the life of this state. It's an election that's going to educate our people about equality. We need to rescue our people. We need to rescue our people from this clinch, from this fresh politics that is new, the new concept of politics that is domesticating all our commonwealth within a few people, as against and penalizing the majority of our people by imposing heavy tariffs on them. It's something that we must rescue our people from. And that's why we're in this business, to rescue our people. And we hope that our people will also appreciate this.
Do you have implicit confidence in the police regarding this election?
I have no option. There's only one Nigerian police force, and we're just pleading when we have opportunities. Have
you been having interactions, engagement with them on this election?
When we have opportunities like this, we just try to implore the police to please live up to the constitutional billings of the police by ensuring that they do their job the way it should be done. And as far as we're concerned, there's only one police force in this country, and it's made up of members of our society. They're Nigerians who are there, and I believe that by and large they will do the right thing. They will do the right thing, because they also bear the brunt. They go to the market. Their children go to Adekunle Ajashi University. Their children go to the medical University of Medical Sciences in Ondo, and same for Okitipupa, University
of Science and Technology.
So you see, even the children of the police, the inspectors, the corporal, the sergeants, the chief, all of them, they go to the same. Their children go to the same institution. They always go to the market. The wives go to this hospital. So they also bear the brunt, and they should bear in mind on the day of election, this is a rescue mission.
So far, with what you've seen with the conduct of INEC and in the process leading to the election, are you satisfied with what you've seen so far?
So far, so good. Although one is pained that INEC is not able to do this continuous voters registration
because of COVID-19.
Because of COVID-19, but we all live with this. All of us are here. We can't run away from the world. We can't run away from Nigeria. By and large, we're all in it together, all the political parties, so we must handle it the way it comes. Yes, so far, so good.
Now, we all know that, irrespective of what people say, money plays a lot of role in elections in Nigeria, vote buying, and all sort of things. Are you kind of scared that you could be outspent? Because that is another thing in election. You could be outspent in this election. And are you scared also that money might sway the electorate?
Well, let me say this.
Because in 2016, we had a lot of money exchange hands on the day of election.
Yes. Now, I would implore people that...
And at that time, they said your party too also doled out money.
No, that's why we were defeated now, because we didn't bring out the money. You recall that they were saying that
we had that you do that money, but that maybe your money wasn't enough. It was like a competition in 2016. So are we going to see that competition?
I wish I could break the law, but I can't. By my training, I can't break the law. But let me say this, that unfortunately the APC takes advantage of the poverty of our people. And I'm a very practical person. I'm also a realistic person. And I'll give you a scenario. A woman wakes up in the morning and goes to her farm to cut some vegetable, puts the entire vegetable in a tray, and goes to like a supermarket, for instance. In the tray, do you have vegetables that is worth about 800 naira? And she got there in the morning as early as 5 a.m. trying to sell this vegetable. As at 4 p.m., unfortunately, she's unable to sell all the vegetable that is valued at 800 naira. Now, the following day is an election day. On Saturday morning, the same woman goes to the polling unit with her voter's card that's supposed to rescue her from the poverty imposed on her by a government that is not sensitive to the plight of the people. And the same government now comes and offered the same woman 5,000 naira. Here's a woman who had tried to sell her wares 2-3 days previous, the wares that is valued at 800 naira. Now, what would she do? Would she say, I don't want the money? Now, the thing is that she's a poor, relatively poor woman, and the person that gave her the money is testing her poverty, taking advantage of the poverty that she's in, and she takes the money because that 5,000 will go a long way, and in the process, she sells her conscience because she's not happy, she sells her future because she has children, and she voted for the wrong party. The wrong party now got into government. The following week, the same government that bribed the electorate now raised the tuition fee in Akumba, raised the tuition fee in Ondo, raised the tuition fee in Okitibuba, raised the tuition fee in Owo, and now moved the figure of 35,000 naira to 150,000 naira to 250,000 naira, and giving the poor woman something with the left hand and taking it back with the right hand, and then taking a stick to flog her in the process. And then eventually, the same woman who collected 5,000 naira will have to withdraw her child from school. That, I think, is unforgivable, pardon my use of the language, and I think it's anti-people. It's a deliberate manipulation of our people and a deliberate policy of taking advantage of the poor state of our people, the poverty of the electorate. That is not right. And I think our people have learned their lesson.
Do you think so?
I believe so. What can we do? We must only hope for that.
When you mentioned the APC, you must agree with me that vote buying didn't just start in Nigeria. At the national level, the PDP was in power for from 1999 to 2015, 16 years before even the APC had a chance to be in power at the national level, and that has always been an issue. Vote buying has always been. Some people will say that the PDP, your party, started out in Nigeria, and that the other political parties are only following that tradition.
Vote buying is a new vocabulary in my own dictionary.
Maybe at that time, maybe they were not calling it, but I remember that as far back as my days in secondary school, when people go out to vote, they will give their money. They will come back and tell us that I
don't know whether you're talking from experience.
I was too young to vote at that time, but I was listening to elderly people come back from polling unit and say they've given their money. So maybe they were not calling it vote buying at the time.
I gave an example now, and I said to you that, look, I painted a scenario of somebody who's trying to take advantage to manipulate the people. The ill there is the deliberate manipulation of getting to power through the back door. And our people are poor generally. And I also want to look at this from the point of view of the electorate. I am not in support of vote buying. I would love that whatever the politicians want to offer, let them offer it. The truth of it is that don't go against your conscience. Whatever you have to do to make sure that you indeed represent the values that you hold innately is what you should do. Do not sell your future. Those who sold their future yesterday have had this same government locking its doors of education against these children. And that is what I quarrel with. Part of the reason we're contesting this election is that some things are not right. Not because they were done before, but because they are not right. And the difference between us and them is that we have character, we have value, we are selfless, we are honest, and we are transparent. And if there are issues, there are issues that you continuously address every time. You have said that they will outspend us or something like that.
I ask if you are not scared or you are not bothered that you could be outspent. I didn't even mention the APC generally now. I'm talking.
But who's going to outspend PDP? They know themselves, you know. Look, it's our money. Let them bring it out. It is our money that they have stockpiled. Let them bring this money out for God's sake. Let them give it to the people, and the people should take their money and not vote for them. That's what we're saying. Because we're talking about our future. Where did this money come from? Where did the money come from? Look, I ran an election in 2016. And at that time, we were the ones who were shouting and screaming. They don't take their money. Eddie Buesebe, all those. I resigned from government about July 22nd of the year 2016 of our Lord Jesus Christ. I contested the election in November 26th of the same 2020. And the announcement was made on the 27th, which is the Sunday, that I lost the election. And I said, to God be the glory. We will continue to do our best for our people. We offer ourselves for service. Look, I want to serve. I want to make sure that things are done positively. That is why we're in this game. That's why we're in this business. And our people should understand that. I do believe they understand it. Once they understand that, it becomes easy for me. If I am ready and willing to serve, and somehow along the line, it does appear that there's some misgivings about it, you go back and re-strategize. In 2016, when we said, look, we're not going to challenge this election in court, because we believe that what I'm saying in effect is that 100 years from now, it's going to become tomorrow. That time, it looked a very far date. It was as if it wasn't going to come. But it's here, 30-something days away. The people of Ondo State now have a choice to either affirm this government or reject the government. And it's left for us to decide. The PDP membership will decide. Even those who are in APC. Have you seen how disgruntled our people are in APC?
I'm not a member of the parties. I wouldn't know.
Well, but you talk to them every time. Just as you talk to PDP. Which party do you belong to?
I don't belong to any party.
Okay,
I shouldn't.
Is it Adaba party?
but at every election cycle, you have people. Oftentimes, they get caught up in the euphoria of the moment. I'm talking about the electorate now, that they do not focus on the specifics. The politicians come and say, I'll do this, I'll do this, I'll do that. At the end of the day, you find that most times all of those things are just rhetorics that they're not really tangibles that people could really lay hands on. And then again, you also have some of the electorate who have, I don't want to call them hopeless. They say, whatever I will do, whoever will vote, our votes are not going to count. What would you say to those people?
Well, I said they should be hopeful. They shouldn't give up hope. Yesterday, we were at a community called Oluwadamilare 1 and Oluwadamilare 2. I don't know which of them we went to now. And you know, it's
in Akure.
In Akure, yes. I'm sure maybe you've not heard of that community. It's
I have not.
Very expansive, big community. It took us about 15 minutes to get to the destination after we detour from Ondo Road. And the road was unwinding, undulating, you know, you have to bend and the rest of it. But when I got to Oladimeji, is it 201 now? The scenario there was electrifying. I looked around and I saw hills by the side. I saw houses built around what we call a depressed part of it. I saw green pastures. I could feel the breeze, and it reminded me of a trip I had outside the country, and I saw development that came out from such topography. It is magnificent to look at. It's in Akure, and it's a new settlement entirely. The road to Oladimeji is not okay, to say the least. If anything, it was a very narrow road with a lot of bumps. Secondly,
Untarred,
okay. Just like a local farm road. Secondly, you have a lot of people living in that place. Thirdly, they have no light. They have to levy themselves before they can buy poles. I asked if they have water. They said they have no water. They have only one borehole erected, put in place through community effort. They have a stream. The borehole is not even working. They have a stream that is somewhere around that place. And I saw a lot of small children, beautiful children, handsome boys, beautiful girls of very minimum age. You know what I'm talking about. And I saw a topography that is electrifying. I saw people who ordinarily are happy but looking for the best. People who have no government presence. These are the kind of settlements that we would deliberately target. It does not cost government a lot of money to build roads into that place. You know, Akure is a big place, big city as it was. Also very accommodating, and we have very peaceful again. But then the level of development will have to be improved upon. And it's because you have majority of our people living at the outskirts. Now forget Obadeshida Road is there, Oyemeku Road is there, Ondo Road is there, but the majority of our people live outside these roads. Those areas I've mentioned are commercial roads. You have only shops there. The residential houses are far in Oda, inside of Oladimeji, other places that serve now as the abode of our people. Look, for a British man, his home is his castle. When you go home, you should be happy you're going home. Even ordinary cows, when they are going home, you could fathom whether they're going home or they're going to graze. When you see them running, they're going home. So if you're going home, you should be a happy man. Unfortunately, the roads that lead to our respective houses and abode within Akure Township is not good. And the same is everywhere, in each and every of the local government. So there must be a deliberate policy on part of government to construct these roads that are not the central roads, but the roads that veer off the central areas. They should be developed, for God's sake. It's important for our people. People must be happy. The welfare of the people is the business of government. And that is what I'm saying when I say, look, a lot of work to be done. A lot of work to be done. You need God's help. You need your brain. You need help of the people. And as I'm talking to you, look, I don't claim to know all. I don't even claim to know half. But I believe that we can tap on the knowledge of every person that knows. The average taxi driver knows that, look, the road to his house is not good. So he shouts on the top of his voice. Somebody who lives outskirts of town knows that there's no water. He now says, look, the way to get it is to address this. A person who has gone to hospital and was able to get medical care will also shout. So it's all these complaints and all these views and advice that you have to put together that makes my own brain a big brain. Because when you listen to people who know, then you're able to learn in the process and replicate it in your society.
Now, back in February this year, this administration said it has spent 13 billion naira on the rehabilitation and reconstruction of schools. Now, under the administration that you served in, mega schools were being built. Should you become governor, what would be your own policy direction, for primary and secondary education? This must include good structures and quality content.
I agree, one, that we must set standards. Look, when Chief Obafemi Awolowo built the Cocoa House, then 25-story building, over 30 years ago, many years ago, some people thought that, look, what is he going to do with the 25-story building? But it has survived. It has endured development. What I'm saying, in effect, is that You don't need to start looking to start building. And I tell you, from that time to now, successive government have not been able to do anything near it. When WNTV, WNBS was introduced at that time, that was the first in Africa. It came in before France. France never had.
Before Canada.
Before Canada, yes. And then you talk about all this. These are certain standards. So when you talk about mega school, the idea is to do something that will endure, something that will serve as a reference point, something that will have all the qualities of a school. If you're going to a mega school, for instance, and you don't want to go there with a dirty cloth, you don't want to go there with a destructive mind. Even the walls that are painted, you don't want to touch it. And in those small experiences, it develops you. You don't want to drop a litter or this filth on the road because the place is neat. Look, if you're going in a place that is decent and neat, and you are taking your groundnut, you don't want to drop the waste on the floor because you keep it and put it in your pocket. Those are the standards that I said the government of PDP should set. Now, coming to our education system, there's going to be emphasis on the quality of teaching. It's very important. The second is quality of character. It's also very important. Third is the environment you're teaching. And also, there's going to be need for us to continue to monitor the teachers and regulate the way they impart knowledge. There must be discipline for the students and the teachers at the same time. And that's for primary school, secondary school, even at the university. Because again, who is going to police the policeman? The lecturers are the ones who are supposed to impart knowledge. The first thing to do is to give them a very conducive environment for teaching. Secondly, those teachers, for God's sake, should not touch our daughters who are in school. They should maintain discipline, and they shouldn't embarrass.
What if it's consensual? Because some people have argued that as well.
Well, it depends on the age, and I'm a lawyer by training, so I know one or two things about this. If you're under 18, you can. What if
they are not under 18?
Consent are you not giving? If you're over 18, you must also look at what we call sex abuse. Some of these things, and I tell you, when you take advantage of the position of a student, a young lady who is 18, she wants to pass her exams. Instead of her to learn, then he now sees a lecturer who smiles at her, and then because of that business of smiling, she chooses not to study. You don't call that consensual. That's manipulation, and that's oppressive as far as I'm concerned. If you ask me, you do not taunt our young girls with marks. If you say, look, I will pass you exam, you pass your exams, and then she's a lady over 18 and she consents, that's not consent, that's fraudulent consent.
Yeah. Okay, now you mentioned mega schools. The problem many people, of the people who criticized it at the time with mega school was that some people did not have access to mega school. That as compared to what the Akeredolu administration claims they are doing, or they are doing at the moment, reconstruction, renovation of all schools, that is better. What do you think?
Well, I don't know how people reason. When you're going on a highway, you choose to travel by road or travel by air. You choose to take advantage of the competition, and if you're able and lucky to get a place in a particular school, you go to that school. If you're not, then you go to another school. The important thing is that we must start development from a particular point in time. A journey of 1,000,000 years takes the first step. A new baby that is born gets up and wants to walk, he stunters. Sometimes he falls, he gets up again. What I'm saying in effect is that start with 1, increase to 2, set standards. Before you know it, there will be a good number of these schools that are established. If governments had maintained the same policy of mega school, like it was done during the Mimiko administration, probably, and I say probably, they would also have built more schools. If this government, in its wisdom, had continued with the policy of bus shuttle, we have to spend so much money buying buses to move our young lads from a particular point to their school in the morning. 6 a.m., the drivers are on the road. 2 p.m., they're on the road. Take children to school and bring them back. If this government had bought the same number of vehicles that was bought by the administration, wouldn't there be improvement in the life of our people in the state? If the the hospitals that were built, mother and child in Central, which was built for pregnant women. Specifically, I was targeting our women and our young children. 2 were built. If this government had continued to build at least his own 2 also.
And they said they said there's one in Botak. I think they said there's another in Duani.
Where they give free maternity services to our pregnant women? I have not heard of that. I don't think they said so. What they have done is to increase how much our pregnant women pay when they want to deliver. What they have done is to increase the medical.
This says they have decentralized access to Medicare for women. That in the case of the administration you served in, just like you mentioned, only 2. They said they have more now across the states.
Where?
I mentioned it. They said there's one in the Botako and there's a new one in Idoani.
I'm sorry about that. I can't.
Maybe you should try and find out.
No. It's because we all know we're in this stage together. Look, have they faulted our position that pregnant women are now paying? The hospital they built at Ibotako, was it free for pregnant women? Or is it free for pregnant women? Or is it going to be free for pregnant women in the next, if by any chance they get the government again? What we're saying is that, look, our people are feeling the pains. Pregnant women are feeling the pains. When you say you have free medical care for pregnant women, it does not discriminate. It is for everybody. Where you have the children of the rich, the professor's wife, and the poor mechanic's wife, lying on the bed next to each other on a very clean bedsheet, white, that can even give you healing, even lying on it ordinarily. And then you have a government that comes to place and say, look, they must pay. What you have done is to take the wives of the poor out of that environment and now insist that it's only the wives of those who are wealthy and have the ability to pay that should have access to that kind of medical service. What I'm saying in effect is that it is not enough to say you are renovating hospitals or you're building some hospitals. It is important that you are able to deliver Medicare in that so-called hospital that you have built. And that is the point that I think is important in our healthcare system, which must be addressed.
When you were answering my question about the medical schools and the policy of the present administration, if I hear you correctly, are you saying that should you win this election, that you're going to go the mega school way?
We're going to go the best way. We're going to build schools that are okay, schools that will serve as reference point, schools that will accommodate as many people as possible. We'll try to ensure that you have a school located in a very short distance from the abode of our people. We're going to ensure that we have teachers who are there to impart knowledge, and we're going to ensure that we open the doors of our schools to as many people as possible to enable them to have access to education. And when they get to the competitive world, they should be able to compete with somebody from Lagos, somebody from Sokoto, because look, the federal government belongs to all of us. The problem we have is that we do not prepare well for the challenges of the future. And it is important for our people to realize that what is within Ondo State may not be enough for us, all of us, to leverage on. We need to go out. We need to go to NNPC, go to MPA, go to other federal government establishments. If you don't know a person, which is a challenge in this country, then you must be able to raise your head and say, look, I'm so knowledgeable in education that even outside the country, they will look for you. And go outside the country. The best medical doctors you have in US, most of them are from Nigeria. Go again, even in engineering business. What we want to do is to equip our people to be able to operate even outside the shores of this country. And that is the essence of education.
Okay, the time is 21 minutes before 3 from the studios of Adaba 8.9 FM. I'll be speaking with the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Mr. Eyitayo Jegede. Now, you mentioned teachers. Oftentimes when I listen to people in government talk about ensuring that teachers deliver, they don't, oftentimes they don't talk about making sure that teachers are happy as well. One, training and retraining. And then, for instance, during FIMA's first coming in Ekiti State, what it did to encourage teachers to stay in rural areas was to give them rural allowance for those who are transferred to rural areas. And then those who were teaching what it calls core subject, like physics, like chemistry, like English language, like mathematics. They also give them core subject allowance. And I think that was done in conjunction with the World Bank. Now, what are your plans for teachers?
Well, it's important.
Their welfare.
It's important for us to realize that if you want to get the best out of any worker, you should be able to take care of his welfare. Part of it is the salary payment. Others are incentives and encouragement. In those days when we were in Aquinas College, Akure, and by the way, I schooled there here in Akure, 73 to 1978, you have our teachers. They have residential abode.
Within the school?
Within the school, yes, within the school. They're able to monitor our reading habits, our sleeping habits. They were able to ensure that we go for our studies in the afternoon. And this is they do because they are within the school. And once a teacher gets into an environment or a school where you have accommodation for the teachers, then that teacher, even when you want to say, look, move to some other place, he thinks of packing and unpacking. When you take a person from an urban setup to a rural setup, and you provide him with a house where he can stay, and that house is fairly okay in the sense that you have light and water, then you're taking care of a good percentage of what I call the welfare, apart from the salary. And I agree absolutely. There are instances where you need to encourage those who are going to the rural areas, and even where you have challenging topography. For instance, where you have to cross the water before you get to a school, there should be some special allowance for those teachers. In the end, you find out that some people will even opt for it because they think they need extra income.
Extra, yes.
Once that happens, then you're killing two birds with one single stone. First of all, you're ensuring that you have some good hands in those schools, rural schools or schools where in challenging topography. Secondly, you're able to take care of the welfare of that particular teacher. And they're even studying. Thirdly, you're able to also get the students to have access to good skill and competencies from those who are teaching them. So I agree with you entirely that that's the way to go. You need to even when you want to go to SLDO, for instance, and you want to go to Eyitayo, for instance, and you want to go to Ondo and Koko, on the other hand, you need to take into account the challenges that the person going to SLDO and Eyitayo will face. And these are obvious challenges. And the people of SLDO and Eyitayo deserve special attention.
Yes.
It's not about offices. It's about the facilities you're able to give to them to make their life better. And for our own administration, by God's grace, when it comes into power, we'll be able to attend to a lot of the needs of our people in those coastal areas. And I say so with all sincerity of heart that they have a good deal with us in terms of facilities. And because there's going to be a special attention on those areas, because that again is the economic line of the state. It's part of the South. You have a lot of advantages there. And if you want to leverage on these advantages, then you must be able to do something extraordinary there. And that to
what about the teachers now?
Now, the teachers there, that's what I'm saying. The teachers yes, I said the teachers in Eyitayo and teachers in SLDO should have a special attention.
Okay.
Because the truth of it is that they're going to contend with a very challenging topography and challenging environment. And once you're able to do that, you're able to also take care of the needs of the students also. So they go together.
Now, the port issue, talking about the riverine area, the port issue is one issue that I know is very dear to the people of Ondo State, especially the people in the coast area. Now, your former boss, Mimiko, has been, several times criticized of not paying or being negligent about the project. The Akredolu administration has got the outline business case for establishing a seaport in that area. No doubt, if this is followed through, it will bring huge economic benefit, not just to that area, but to the whole of Ondo State. What is your own take about this project? Do you think it's feasible? Is it something you believe in?
It is feasible. It's achievable by God's grace. It's also important to understand that a seaport is not entirely an affair that is domesticated within the state.
Yes.
It is something that you need the understanding of the federal government to do. And all those, the laws, the regulations that allows for that is entirely within the federal government profile. But it is important for the state to demonstrate sufficient seriousness. Look, if you want to open up the southern zone, then seaport is essential. It will act as an incentive because there will be going to be massive construction. You need, of course, to make sure that the Federal Ministry on charge of transportation and the NPA that regulates all this have a buy-in into the project. And there's nothing that is no sacrifice is too much to get a seaport for Ondo State. And you did say that maybe the administration where I serve did not pay sufficient attention to that. I don't think that is fair.
Okay.
I don't think that is correct. Because, this is a process, it's a procedure.
What did Mimiko do about it?
Well, I think there was a policy, and I believe so. There was a policy because I served as the Attorney General. As the Attorney General, it's
you will know about any agreement or MOU entered into.
If there were agreements, if there's an agreement, of course we will know about the ports if there was any. But there are processes that will lead to that. That depends on the policy of the administration at the top. And I know for sure that the government of Mimiko was interested and did all it could at that level to ensure that it brought to reality the ports. The same thing that this government is doing, and there's so much noise about ports without so much of action. And the difference in this is that we must all go all out and realize that you need the federal government to be able to establish this port. You also need the buy-in of those who are real investors to be able to do this. Look, it's not going to, from my understanding, there was a feasibility report that reflected the coastline and the depths of the coastline. There was also a report that reflected how much you need to excavate, how much you have to, and the kind of ship that can come in there. Now, having said that, that is what's going to encourage the Port Authority, Federal Ministry of Transportation to buy into the project. It cannot even do that without the concurrence of the federal government itself. For as long as you don't get that approval, it becomes an issue. And you need to be able to leverage on a relationship with the federal government who are desirous of developing a particular state. It is important that all of us together in Ondo State must realize the importance of a seaport and do everything within our power to make sure that it comes to reality. And for me, it is the best way. It's the best thing to do. It will provide a lot of employment for our people. Even the construction alone, the effect on the commerce, the effect on the life of the people there, the job provision that will come in along with it, and also putting Ondo State on the world map in terms of destinations of cargo is something that you must agree will bring a lot of advantage to Ondo State. And all the government has to do in this is, first of all, get the buy-in of the federal government. Secondly, demonstrate sufficient interest in bringing in those who can invest. It's going to cost a lot of money. But then if those people realize that they can get their return back in terms of the investment, then I don't think anybody will shy away from it.
Would you say that?
Decision.
Would you say, because successive governments in Ondo State keep talking about this sport, would you say that it has become something to win people's votes from that area?
Well, as a realist, I must tell you that some of these fine points are issues that will need more than politics to achieve. It will need a person who is committed to this. I am committed to it. It's just like bitumen. It's the same thing. Look, all of us in this country realize that you need a port that exists. All of us in this country realize that we need to extract and exploit the bitumen at Agbabu, Ondo State, for instance. And I understand the first pump that was in Agbabu was installed in 1904 or thereabout. It was supposed to pump out this bitumen. But we've not been able to achieve it, unfortunately. The same way, the same challenges we have in this issue of ports, it has become a catchy issue. And I was...
That you politicians use?
Well, unfortunately,
for
those who are not honest about it. And that is why we think that you must talk about character in this. You must talk about honesty. You must talk about a knack for development. Look, when I came to serve as Attorney General of the state, I came in to offer service for my dear state. I came in to be part of a development program that was just unveiling itself. And in the process, I found that there is a lot to do. And I say, like our people say, only one person is in charge, that's the chief executive of the state. it takes when it is good, it takes the praise. When it is bad, it takes the bullet. It takes the blame. But of course, there are people who are within the cabinet who also, at the recess of their meetings, decides on what to do and offer the advices, and then decides on offer help. But at the end of the day, the buck stops on the governor's table. And if you ask me, that is why I want to do this. That is, so if you have a palace, there's only one king in the palace, is in charge. He takes advice from his chiefs anyway, and the chiefs are also very powerful in their own right. But once a decision is going to be taken, it is the king that takes that decision. Now, there's only one driver when you're driving a vehicle.
Now, Ondo State people surely love the sport. They love Sunshine Stars. They are rising stars. They are Sunshine Queens now. And thank God you played volleyball at Aquinas. You were, in fact, the captain of your team, and at Christ School as well, and at Unilag. What are your plans for sport? That is one. And then what are you going to do to bring Sunshine Stars back to its enviable position, to an enviable position on the league table?
Let me say this. I love sports. Secondly, I competed favorably with other states, and I represent the states in 1977, 1980, Oluyole, Kaduna, and the rest of it. Volleyball, yes, and I played volleyball. I brought in laurels to this state. So I know what I'm talking about when I talk about sports. I know it's important. First, it is healthy. It's healthy. It makes you healthy. It makes you strong. Secondly, it saves our youths from
not going to crime.
Then thirdly, it also gives us opportunity for leisure, and it also brings in money.
Yeah.
But you need to have the infrastructure in place. Unfortunately, and I say unfortunately again, we do not have that infrastructure for sports. When I left school in 1977 first, and then 77, 78, I was in the stadium as a stadium assistant. We paid 76 naira then. It's fine money, good. And it's the same stadium that we're still using now. I know that the Agako administration started with a stadium in Akure. Unfortunately, it has remained the way it is. And I think there's need for us to complete that stadium. There's need for us to expand the seating space, where you sit, and then also to have some that is enviable, that will demonstrate our proficiency in sports, swimming, for instance, in which we're very good in. Football, for instance. I'm coming to the Sunshine Stars that you've mentioned. It's a very expensive business, but it has its advantages. The important thing for us is to have a good football team that will serve as a rallying point for each and every one of us in the state, something that will be loyal to our pride. And you need to get players, good players. So you start to develop this from the secondary schools. When we're in secondary schools, we have a lot of energetic boys who have real talents, and who also were able to manage the academic work with sports, and who ordinarily would have done so well in sports and would have brought in money. But then, because of the facilities that we do not have, basketball, for instance, it does not take so much to build a basketball court. All you need to do is just put these 2 poles and the net, and then have a good playing ground, and then you fence the place around for security, and it brings in money. So, for me, you must encourage sports at the secondary school level. The old Principal's Cup will come back again. You will have to get our people to run athletics, to 100 meters dash and the rest of it. You need to let people go back to school and watch sports and games. Let's see the hurdles again in place. Let's see the sprinters in place. Let's see the long jumpers in place. Let's see those who are involved in high jump and the rest of it. Let's see the footballers come back, and let's pick talents across the length and breadth of the state and train them. And when you train them, let's get the best out of them. Because when you're training them, you train them for the state and for themselves. And once they're able to get to a good point of skill, they are able to bring in income. Again, you have our people look forward to. I go to stadium every day, by the way, when I was Attorney General. Early in the morning, I'm at the stadium, I do some jogging, I do some exercises, I go back to my work. After doing my exercises, I go back to the office and work until evening. Look forward to the next day. And once that happens again, we go through the same process. And I've had benefits from it. And it's what I think should be done by all. I want to encourage our people to take a walk around, even those who are elderly. Those who are young, let them go around and jog. Those who can play table tennis, let them put table tennis in their houses. Let's have a decent environment for once, and let's have government putting in place small sports complexes, for instance, within all our townships. Very decent, very neat, very beautiful. That even those
that young people can have access to.
Yes, even those who cannot play the game can go there and sit down and watch. I would love the day when you have 5 p.m. Those who are civil servants will go back again to the club and go and play lawn tennis. Those who can play table tennis, go and play table tennis. Those who can watch, go there and watch. And then we'll enjoy ourselves through sports and also join in the competition that will bring glories to this state. What I'm saying in summary is that we'll encourage sports.
Now, let me ask this last one. And it's one issue that I've had, maybe it's a rumor, maybe it's true, nobody knows. Is there any truth to the fact that not all the governors on the platform of your party, the PDP, are supporting your aspiration? We've had that. Some people even say that it's only Makinde who is behind you, that Wike, the likes of Wike are not with you, and that could be due in part to the 2023 presidency, that they see you as an Atiku person.
It is not entirely true.
Okay.
It is not correct. This is politics, and you have people with various diverse interests. The truth of it is that for as long as we're within the same political party, there is moral body and obligation for us to back our candidates. There's also the legal reasons for you to stay within your party and give the support. Now, having said that, I can confirm to you that all our governors are backing this project. And when I say backing, I mean backing this project. Yes, 2023 might be an issue. It will always be an issue because, again, there's a power game. There are people who are doing their calculations, saying that this person will not get there, this person will get there. And these are a season of lies. And they will tell lies against you that you will be struggling to wash yourself clean. And the lies are started. First, they will say, look, he doesn't have money to run an election. Secondly, they would say, look, he doesn't have support of this person. Thirdly, he has support of only this person. Or that when it comes to money, they will outspend him. Well, these are the same stories I had before the primaries. Before the primaries, they said a lot of things. And then they don't forget that who are these governors supporting? There's no person that they will support outside the PDP. If before now they had supported somebody within PDP, which is legitimate, and they're not able to get it through, and that person is no longer in PDP, then they stay with the PDP. And I'm sure our governors are very disciplined, decent people who knows where that this PDP is the party that belongs, that is their own party, is our own party, and it's the alternative. And look, our chances are also very bright and very good. And that is the reason why all our governors are lined up behind this project. And I can confirm to you that nobody is outside.
Will they be at your flag on Saturday?
Well, it depends. It depends on. It depends on the schedule that they all have. I look forward to having all of them around. All of us look forward to that, and we're hopeful that a good number of them will come, if not all. We will work on that, and we're still working on that. Don't forget that they have their state to run, and they are also looking forward to be part of this project. I look forward to seeing all of them. God permitting.
Thank you very much, Mr. Eyitayo Jegede, Senior Advocate of Nigeria and candidate of the People's Democratic Party in the October 10 governorship election in Ondo State. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
It's been nice talking to you.
Good to be here also.
My name is Temidayo, and this is where we draw the curtain on today's edition of the RoundTable. Good afternoon and thanks for listening.